Well, hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Following on with my tourism, we're now in the middle of mid Wales at Powys Castle grounds, and look at the view. It's just a beautiful place. We're in the deer park, so in this area you're not allowed to have a dog, even if it's on the lead, because they have cattle roaming, which seem very friendly. They never challenge you. So this is the start of the walk. And we walk along following the path, sticking to the path, because the path is the public walkway. The grass is not allowed to be on. So I'm going to take you up to the Powys Castle, which is where I met the love of my life, in Powys Cattle Grounds. Circus was coming to town and he was working for them. And we fell in love. Anyhow, it's another story. You don't want to hear that, do you? So let's get to the castle. And what's nice about this park is there's some really nice benches here, and often they have like a historical connection. They tell you who's donated them, how long they lived, and why they donated it. But here we're still halfway up. There's some beautiful specimen trees, but sadly a lot of them are getting to the end of their life, and they do quite a bit of pruning to try and help them stay a little longer. I think that one must have been struck by lightning. There's another tree that's come to the end of its life and they've left it there as a habitat. Then they've planted a new one to replace it, which is really nice. Now then, I'm going to keep my eyes open for you to show you the deer. The deer are often lurking under the trees in this temperature, or up on the banks, up on this side. So keep your eyes open when you come and walk this way, because you will see a huge herd of deer. And there we are. There's a huge herd of deer over there. I'm not sure whether my film's... Oh, it's going to zoom in. There we go. I'm so sorry it's a bit jumpy. But there are the deer. And there's the deer. So that's the place you look. Let me just zoom out. Just under the trees. And the castle is over there, which is now to the left of my shot. And when you're walking in deer country, do remember to watch out for ticks, because in deer country it is prevalent for Lyme disease, which I actually contracted about 5-6 years ago and managed to treat naturally and got over it. So do watch for ticks and remove them. And if you do suffer from Lyme disease, have a good look for Dr. John Bergman on Lyme disease. He's the one that got me through it all. Amazing chiropractic doctor, and he talks about the use of saunas and cold, changing the temperature of your core temperature of your body by about 1 degree ups the fighting of the parasites, hence the saunas and the cold. But that's a whole new video, but do check him out on the YouTube, because he's pretty damn good. I should also add, he talks about the power of nutrition, rest, prayer, meditation, sleep, and no toxicity in your life. So this is a day of non-toxicity, just being in the countryside, enjoying the view, breathing in the fresh air, and looking at the red deer. There you go, there's one of the signs which is telling you that the land is private, but we're allowed on the footpaths. And if you've got young children with you, do beware that there are cars that come on here. Some of them can go a little bit too quick, not that that one is, but you will see cars. You can drive through in the open times. It's free to drive through, and you can come and drive and see the deer and have a picnic. And we just carry on walking over here to get to the castle, which should be apparent soon when we round the corner. Now, as we walk around here, often you'll see the deer under those trees there. So as I say, keep looking, you will spot them. And that's where we've come from. The footpath down there comes from the centre of town. You find the butcher's called Ricky Lloyd's in town, and you turn left into a little car park and through the main gates, and then you get into the parkland to walk. If you want to gain access by the road, you go down the Welshpool to Coed Road, and you turn right there and you'll find it. There's a lovely duck pond there. And we just rounded a corner and the castle is to our left, behind those trees. There's the main car park. And when you start to see the car park, start to look right, and very often you'll find the deer hanging out over here. Sadly, there's none today, it seems. I was wrong. My camera's not going to show it, but between those trees in the distance, there's another herd of deer. So that's nice to see. I'd bring some binoculars because you can't get close enough to actually see them. There's a no right of way through there still, and signs saying no dogs, and continue on to the car park, which is empty today because of COVID, sadly. When COVID restrictions are eased, it'll be so nice to be able to go around the gardens and the castle again. It really is worth seeing. There's the castle. There's the castle. Now, there's some controversy around Powys Castle because they had a display, or they did last time I was here, about the Clive Museum it is. So it's a gentleman from a long time ago who made his money out of tea, I believe, and he basically had Indian slaves, which is not good, obviously, and exploited them, I believe, to create his wealth. And then there's a huge museum showing all his goodies. And there has been quite a lot of debate locally saying that it's not something to be proud of and not something to display. But then there's others that say it's history and we should see it. Now in the Clive Museum there's a beautiful grand piano, and if you ask nicely you get to play it. So I've had the honour of playing it a few times and it's really nice. I play a little Beethoven. There we go, look at the castle. Isn't that nice? It's quite an unusual shape as a castle to me. It's not what I'd call a castle. It's been built onto a number of times. Now Prince Charles used to have a suite here, but he did give that up a number of years ago. And the Earl of Powys, I believe, owned it. The castle, I think. So there's somebody rich, we'll say it that way, that owns the castle's items within it. National Trust maintains it and lets guests show around it. So there's rooms that are for his personal use and his personal things in that are not allowed to be touched or seen or photographed, and they're all covered with dust sheets. But there is a lot of beautiful things to see when you walk around the castle. I don't know whether you can hear in the background there, those are the peacocks. So generally you would drive along here if you want to visit the castle and park on the car park. You go to the hut there where you can get refreshments and drinks and things, and join the National Trust if you want. And then there is a bus that goes up and down, an electric bus to take people every few minutes, or disabled people. There is also disabled parking at the top. Then you can walk into the castle from the top of the bank. Castle's behind there. And I'm assuming because the castle is so, what would I say, multi-faced, I would assume it's been adapted. And oh my goodness, there's a deer in front of us on the road. Hopefully we can see that in a second. I would assume lots of families have influenced the castle and added to it over the years, and that's why it's so multi-faced. Tried to creep up on that deer, but the deer has beaten us to it and has crossed the road and gone into the undergrowth, sadly. It's not very easy to creep up on a deer. The deer is just around the corner there, just in the shadow. I'm so sorry my camera's not good enough to show you properly. It's just going up under the trees. So there she is. It's a doe, meaning female. And I can't zoom in and show you because my camera's rubbish. She's still got some of the spots on her, little white dots. Often all you see of a deer is a flash of their tail as they run off and bound away, and you see the white flash of the tail. But she seems quite content standing watching me, watching her. There she is. Beautiful, elegant deer. They can jump surprisingly high, over 2 meters, 2 meters 20 high. We had one once jump our fence and get its legs stuck in the fence in our pig enclosure, between the pigs' fence, the electric fence, and it was screaming for help because the electric fence kept giving it a shock. So I had to switch the fence off and go and rescue it. This lovely little deer. To release it was a lovely thing. There, look, see the white of the tail? Very elegant. Oh, I've got to get a better camera to show you these lovely things. And off she goes to join the rest of the herd, I'm sure. So let's go back to the castle. There's the castle. Let me zoom back out. So we're on the top car parking area. This is where the coaches park and disabled parking, and they run a little electric bus, as I say, all the way up to the door, and there it is. And there's picnic tables and seating, so you can bring a picnic and enjoy sitting on the grass, and I'm sure you'll get bombarded by the peacocks who will want to steal your sandwiches. And then over here on the way out, there behind that fence is a huge pool. Here we are next to the pool, and over there, let me tell you some history. So over there, between those two trees, somewhere up on the hill, is an ice house. And what they used to do, in winter when that pool froze over, they would come down and get huge sheets of ice that they would then drag up to the ice house, which is a large domed, huge, like an old-fashioned beehive in shape when you look down into it. And they throw on the bottom, they keep wood. So I suppose like we would put pallets today and there's a drain in the centre. So the drain would take the melting ice. So they would then throw in the ice from the top midwinter, and the ice drains away, water, but it stays frozen all summer. They would get the ice from there to make ice creams, jellies and things, and use as refrigeration in the summertime. And they'd make amazing ice sculptures that they would put on the tables when they were having banquets. They really had it sussed because they knew the power of those trees to keep that little hillside chilled. They knew they needed to dig deep into that hillside, create a double airlock with the doors, and the trees would shade it all, and as I say, stay frozen all summer. Now I'll finish the video because it's getting a bit long and you don't want to listen to me twittering on. So we'll finish the video by taking you up to the doors, showing you where you pay to get in and where the garden entrance is. So there's two types of payment, one to get in the garden only and one to get in the castle, or as a combination actually probably that does two. Let's take a picture, that looks nice. And then in September time they have an open day where members of the local public can, it's advertised in the newspapers, and you can get in for free to both, which is a really nice gift to the locals. So I really thank you for being with me. If you stayed this far, please comment so I know you made it, and come and visit Powys Castle. It's really nice historically. Now my interest in it is because of self-sufficiency, so I love to come here and see the things like the ice house, which is the self-sufficiency, the old kitchens, the ideas from the past, the garden herbs, the orangery, the medicinal herbs. Oh, it's brilliant. So do come along and try it. Please like, subscribe, and go on, be a devil, comment. Stay with me. Bye bye all.